The elusive T-Roc has finally returned to the Pit Stop channel. The last time I drove this Volkswagen T-Roc, well, it was a nice car, but it only had a 1.6 liter four-cylinder diesel, and I thought, why? I hate this downsizing of engines. But I think the manufacturers have actually sort of reversed their theories now, and they thought, maybe it's not the best idea to put a 0.3 liter three-cylinder diesel with 18 turbos in there. So now they're getting back to bigger cars, or bigger engines once more. This one has a 2 liter four-cylinder diesel engine with 150 horsepower. But maybe if the machine god tells us that it's good, maybe we'll see V6s again. V8s? So by today's standards of tiny little 1 liter 3-cylinder engines, this is really a monster of a 2 liter engine with 4 cylinders. Oh my god. Anyway, this is a good thing. Not only will you use less fuel because it'll have to work less, you'll also have much more fun. Okay, I have a sneaking suspicion my dreams about V6 and especially V8 engines will stay just that, dreams. But they're nice dreams nonetheless. At least the German designers weren't dreaming when making this car. I like how it looks, and it's got red brake calipers. LEDs at the front and LEDs at the back. They make the car look more modern and cooler. Apart from the digital instrument cluster, the T-Roc offers plenty of other extras, such as optional leather seats, a bigger infotainment screen with navigation, stationary heating and ventilating, heated steering wheel, and so on. What lovely weather we're having. Perfect for recording. Well, on the outside you'll see nice weather, and on the inside you'll see rain. That's a paradox there, right there. But before I do get on with testing this engine in the T-Roc, I just want to rant a little bit. Just a bit. And this is not just up to Volkswagen and T-Roc, it's also other manufacturers and other things. But what I don't like is that it's nice having this engine, 150 horsepower, 2 liter diesel, but you're really paying a premium for it. I mean, this car is 32,000 euros. Yes, it is more well equipped and so on and so forth, but still the engine is a lot more expensive than the base one, for example. And I'm going to do a weird comparison here that you might think is just it's crazy, but hear me out. In America, the Ford F-150, a pretty damn large pickup. Well, it used to be the smallest pickup there. You could buy it, now you can buy the Ford Ranger as well. But anyway, the Ford F-150, the base one, I believe comes with 2.7 liters engine. I think it's a V6, I'm not exactly sure. But anyway, that's the base engine. But fine, you know, it's a big pickup. How much do you think you have to pay extra to get the almost 6-liter V8 engine? Nope, you're wrong. It's $1,000. $1,000. That's like 800 euros. What do you get for 800 euros here? You might get some parking sensors at the front and back and maybe a backup camera for that in a package. I mean, you know, why are we paying such premiums on these engines? Yes, a lot has to do with our country here as well. We have a lot of taxes on larger engines, but this engine, the 151, I feel should be the base one. Okay, now I've vented a little bit. I can tell you a bit about the engine, the 2-liter, 150 horsepower diesel. Well, there's two main things about it. One is, of course, the power. You put your foot down, this thing goes. I mean, it's not a racer, but it definitely pulls well. You're going to surprise many a driver if you do this. So this is nice. This is really where I feel it's where it should be for this car, really. It's fitting. It's got enough power and it doesn't have too much. And the other thing is consumption. Right now it has 5.5 liters per 100 kilometers, which is actually really good because we didn't drive it overly economically. So you could get this down even further, probably to around 5 liters per 100 kilometers. And this is the thing again. Why do people buy tiny engines? Well, because I'm going to use less fuel and it's cheaper to buy. And it's also going to be cheaper later on. And probably in a lot of places it's cheaper to insure. Okay, but I mean, in the long run, if you use it normally on the highways, on normal roads and so on, you're going to use less fuel with a bigger, more powerful engine just because it doesn't have to work so hard all the time. So, I mean, and you're going to have more fun if you want, and you're going to have more power if you need it in an emergency for whatever reason. So, I mean, I think this is a really good result. 5.5 liters per 100 kilometers. It's really good. Right now I'm going about 50 kilometers per hour, 5th gear. It's nice. It's quite comfortable and it's not intrusive because the engine is fairly quiet. I'm not going to say silent, and if you do press the throttle a bit more aggressively, you are going to hear it, but I feel that's a good thing. I want to hear the engine when I'm accelerating. It's not really sporty, but it's nice. It doesn't have a bad sound. And, you know, right now I'm cruising through a town here, 50 kilometers per hour. I can barely notice the engine. It's very nice because, especially with the DSG here, I believe it is 7-speed, it will usually try to keep it very low in the RPM range. So that means lower consumption and, of course, a quieter engine. This is nice. So what about the motorways? If you're doing a lot of motorway driving and you're buying this car, then yes, you do have to get this engine because, well, I mean, you put your foot down and it's not a problem at all. You know, you'll have a lot of power and torque to overtake easily and safely, because the worst thing for me anyway on the motorways is that cars are whizzing past and then someone decides that they would overtake as well, but at 100 kilometers per hour, because anything more is just too much. So right now at 130 kilometers per hour I have the cruise control on, and it's 5.5 to about 6 liters per 100 kilometers instant consumption, current consumption. I mean, of course, that's going to vary whether the road is going up or down and so on and so forth, but that's not bad. It could be better, but it's not bad. You're definitely going to use less fuel than you would with a tiny 1-liter 3-cylinder engine that's just going to be screaming all the time just to do 130. And of course, what's even nicer is that even though you're doing the speed limit, if for some reason you do require more power, you have quite a bit in reserve still. So yeah, get this engine. One more thing, I was talking about how fairly quiet the engine is in cities and towns and such, and it's sort of very similar on the motorways as well. Yes, of course, it's a little bit louder because instead of 1200 we are doing about 1800 RPMs at 130 kilometers per hour, but you know, it's actually nice. I wouldn't mind driving this long distance, and considering that, I would also like to talk about the seats and such, which are very good, I feel. Now this has, I think, slightly upgraded ones, but like semi-leather. It's not really leather here, but they're comfortable. They're textile, but they're very comfortable. I would be quite happy driving for hours in this. I also have, of course, this infotainment system. I've got a digital instrument cluster. I've got a blind spot monitor. I've got a backup camera that actually hides itself under the badge, which I feel everyone should be doing that, because when it's weather like this, well, now it's stopped raining, but if it's bad weather, you can actually still use the camera because you can see what's going on. Because the camera is not just full of everything on it, you know, rain and dust and dirt and so on. So yeah, it is a very comfy, nice car, but still 32,000 euros. I mean, that's a lot. At the very least, it should come with all-wheel drive for that kind of money, I feel.
The base T-Roc starts at 19,000 euros. For the top-of-the-line model with 150 horsepower diesel and all-wheel drive, as well as practically all the extras, you'll be lighter for 44,000 euros.